It started when I was 12, I believe, and I started on this little shiny red Fernandez P bass that my dad had laying around. And the reason that it was laying around is because my dad tried to play bass. And he did it for a few years, and what he says is he just fundamentally never understood the instrument. But that is one part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
That's where fate intersects with my mother saying, Sam, your brothers are out there playing. We have a bass and we have a bass amp. You want to just try it? I was like, well, yeah. And Jake showed me a few little simple notes, just something like a do 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 do
Yeah.
to play along with the band. And after a while, I kind of understood its function, and then all of music was so obvious to me, just the way that things interact with each other. And of course, still I learn something new every day about rhythm and, that interaction, because it's infinite.
Sure.
And that was my early beginnings. Actually, funny story is that Jake tuned the bass wrong. So I was playing with a different tuning for months and months. It was tuned, instead of E-A-D-G, it was tuned D-G-B-E, like top strings of the guitar.
Oh, wow.
Because what Jake wants to do when he's playing bass is doing those leads and doing the bends and stuff. So I think that's why he did it like that. But I started looking up tabs, and I would try to play the tabs, and I was like, that isn't right at all. And that's when I figured out that my tuning was wrong.
There you go. Well, and guitar players always like to noodle so much more, so I'm not surprised that he made it work for him. And are you pretty much self-taught, or have you had any additional training?
No, that was kind of all I got right there, was just a few notes, and that's when I started kind of going out and learning it with my brain and ears. And I think for a big part of it, my father actually was leading me toward the stuff that he knew was very true, and the great bass playing.
Mm-hmm.
He put me toward Jack Bruce, which was definitely my earliest inspiration for playing bass. We were in the car, and Sunshine of Your Love came on, and he was like, do you hear what it's doing? You hear that bass down there? I'm like, oh yeah. And that was the first time I really fixated on the bass in a mix. And so yeah, that was definitely where I learned how to do a bass fill, Jack Bruce.
Mm-hmm. And interestingly enough, Greta Van Fleet has been going since 2012. So now you guys have been at it for a while and getting ready to release another album, The Battle at Garden's Gate. This is your sophomore album. Tell us a little bit about this one.
Well, going into the album, what we wanted to do was make an album that is widescreen. We wanted to make something that was very cinematic, because not necessarily as musicians, but as producers, that's always been something that was really inspiring. Like watching The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I mean, you're barely even watching it for the movie aspect of it. I mean, it's just gorgeousness.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all the iconic John Williams stuff. So yeah, it's always been a very big inspiration for us to have that sound.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought, why can't we put this production on a rock and roll Greta Van Fleet album?
Yeah.
And so that was definitely the intent, and in my opinion, that's exactly how it turned out.
Gotcha.